So awareness is pretty important in Rocket League, and I guess in life as well. If you didn't see my last video, go check it out. I said the same thing at the beginning of that video too, but don't worry, this is a different video. Last time we went over the key factors that go into effective awareness, and this time we're going to use those concepts to work on improving our awareness with some drills. And these ain't gonna be your grandpa's go into free play or load up this custom training pack kind of drills. These are real methods to increase general awareness in-game, and also in ways that you might even see trickle into everyday life. I also want to add some general tips, including at the end, probably the most critical warning to keep in mind when adding this or really anything to your playstyle so that it's done right. The first drill is replay prediction. This is going to help you train your ability to absorb more information around the field and learn to recognize patterns of movements to help you identify plays faster and more accurately in-game. Go into a replay from one of your games and start viewing it from your perspective. Try not to do this with a game that you just played, as it's best if you don't remember exactly how all the plays happened. Next, find a moment where a play is about to unfold, ideally where a ball is about to be hit, then hit the pause button. And speaking of hitting buttons, look at what we have here. But now that you're paused, you're going to predict what you think is most likely to happen in the next few seconds. Who is likely to hit the ball, where's it gonna go, and how will the other players react to that? Try to notice as much as you can about what's going on the field leading up to that moment and in the moment to help your prediction. Things like where are your teammates and opponents' cars facing and how quickly are they moving. Then try to plan out what the best possible position for yourself based on the most likely scenario that you just planned out and taking into account other possibilities, and see if you did the right thing or not once you resume the replay. I'm going to give an example of me doing this live right now. Okay, so we're in a replay here. This is actually a replay from someone I coached this week. It was just the first one I had, so it's easier, and I'm sure he won't mind. I'm just gonna watch from a random player's perspective anyways, and I've also anonymized the names and the cars so I can't get sued. But let's get started. Okay, this is perfect. We're able to see a lot of the field right now, so we have a lot of information. Player 0 has possession right here. Also, this is mid-champ, so players at this level probably know not to just throw the ball away here to us. So hopefully he doesn't just throw it away to us. Well, I mean, hopefully he does. That would be awesome, but it's not likely. Because he has enough space here and he's not going that fast, you can see he's not boosting this way, which he would be if he was probably going to jump off the wall to hit this. He's much more likely to just let this ball drop and try to take control of it. He might either dribble it this way or dribble it into the middle so that his teammate can either take a pass or maybe just support him as he's dribbling. So this means we are probably safe because we're first man and we have teammates behind us to back us up. We're probably safe to push up here and just pressure this play as he tries to slow play the ball. One thing we need to keep in mind as well is that player 2 is right here traveling perfectly in our way, so even if he doesn't see us, he may bump us, so we're gonna have to try to avoid that as it happens. But anyways, let's see if he actually slow plays it, and let's see if we push up and challenge like we should. All right, perfect. So player 2 almost bumped us, and player 0, like we said, he dropped it down and tried to slow play it. He did try to pass it mid for his teammate, like we predicted, but the teammate just kind of threw it back to the corner. Let's try to find another one. All right, this is a good one. We're probably a little bit too pushed up here because both of our teammates are double committing right here. But fortunately for us, it appears that our teammate is going to beat the opponent to this ball, I'm pretty sure. So we should be safe to push up here and take control of the ball after he wins this challenge right here. Again, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Let's just see for sure. Yep, so the challenge was won in our favor and we were able to get a little bit of possession. It didn't actually lead to a goal, but it did lead to an opportunity for our team. Here's a couple fun variations and just general tips on this. The first one is to switch up your view from other players' perspective or into an aerial view. We talked about how empathy is key in awareness, and if you can see this play from another player's view, you'll have a better idea of what information they're going off of and why they made the decisions that they end up making. Another thing you can do is try to guess the boost amounts and boost timers. Having really good boost awareness is huge in being able to predict what other players will do. You'll notice a lot of the best players always know when the big boost pads are going to come up, even if they didn't see when it was taken, just because they knew when a player was in that area and they can assume that that's when it was taken. Keep in mind, this is essentially replay analysis, and it's always a bit more efficient to have a coach help you with this. They have a little more game knowledge and can see things in a way that you can't always. Your goal is to develop this level of insight, but having someone explain it to you at first can help that happen a little bit faster. Regardless, coaches are like a GPS. They can help guide you there, but with enough trial and error, you will get there eventually. So there's nothing wrong with grinding this type of analysis for yourself. In fact, even with a coach, it's really good to do this type of stuff on your own or with a friend from time to time to help you develop that level of game sense. Okay, drill number 2. This is a pretty quick one and pretty simple, but it's important and it also sets up drill number 3. So you're gonna review a game replay again, maybe the one you just watched, but instead watch from a zoomed out aerial view the whole time where you can see everything. I know many players like to do this already, but for those of you who don't, you might notice a lot more from this perspective than you would normally. Imagine playing a game from this perspective with awareness of the whole field. So for drill number 3, we're going to bring together the stuff that we just learned here and try to apply it to a real game scenario. Oh, and before I forget, real quick, thanks to the feedback from all y'all, I'm going to start streaming next week. Here's the schedule for now. I really want to address a lot of the questions you guys might have about sports psychology or just coaching in general or learning or improving. I'm happy to help, and that's why I do all the things that I do here. I'm going to do some special stuff for the first week of streaming, including some special titles for anyone who can make it, just to show some appreciation for the OGs. So go into your calendars or load up your TikToks and set an alarm so you don't miss it. Wait, TikTok's like a clock app, right? Like for alarms? Anyways, drill number 3. So drill number 3 is zooming out. For this drill, you are going to play a game with your focus on broad awareness. Try your best to constantly be aware of as much as you can in the game at each given moment. Use the idea of zooming out or increasing your field of view to see the field better, all the players, and the ball, obviously. When I feel like I'm tunneling in game, I try to literally visualize myself as like a camera lens and open up my eyes wide and try to zoom out. Take your eyes off the ball for a moment and take note of where others are on the field. I know it sounds a bit weird, but it actually helps to physically open up our eyes and even our body language, sit up and back, pull our shoulders back.
You should pull your shoulders back and make sure your back is upright.
This subconsciously opens us up to maintaining this broad awareness that we're looking for. The 4th drill is a bit of a bonus, and it comes from a commenter on my last video. The Nyan Cat brought up a really cool technique that I've actually used with some players before and definitely have seen some benefit from it, and that is to verbalize what you're doing and why. Just like the example I showed in the last video of Musty and Squishy explaining their gameplay, it can really help keep you consciously aware of what's going on when you force yourself to verbalize it. Again, as I mentioned, remember to keep it non-judgmental. I'd recommend doing this in a casual game to start, as it might be a bit of a task overload at first. And although it's great if no one is around you and you can actually do this out loud, you can do it in your head as well if it's not something that you can or are comfortable doing out loud. Now, here's my warning for implementing these things into your gameplay. For changes like this, you often have to tear things down a bit before you can build them back, which means breaking some bad habits to build new, better ones. And for that reason, you may notice that you're going to play worse after implementing some of these changes. This dip in performance, though, is natural and you just have to push past it. Keep in mind that you're doing this for the long term, and this dip in performance will eventually lead to new highs in your level of play. Anyways, hope this stuff helped. Drop some support down below if you want to see more. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and tune in if you can. Otherwise, thanks for sticking around. Now, go practice.